All right, so shout out to the chat last live stream in which you guys said, hey, you really need to check out the Austin Rivers take on the San Antonio Spurs. Apparently, he has some very nice words. Now, I recall Austin Rivers talking about the Spurs before, and I thought that's what you guys were talking about. I had no idea it was literally a day ago. And also, last live stream, we were having so many issues. By the way, I think I fixed it. So I'll go live after the next game against the Houston Rockets. But we were having so many issues, I couldn't go over it then. But hey, offline, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
I want some rescue. Are we having fun yet?
All right, Austin Rivers, please take it away, my boy. So usually when I hear an Austin Rivers take, it's usually a pretty good one. So yeah, I assume this one's going to be beautiful.
So the Spurs have it figured out. They have the blueprint to, they know how to build around a superstar. They know how to compete for championships and build a championship team starting with that centerpiece. All right. We saw it with David Robinson. They surrounded him with vets, great players. They were competitive, but they weren't quite it. They needed that extra piece. So what they do, they get the greatest power forward of all time. And they immediately surround him with savvy professionals.
By the way, that's exactly what I think Wemby needs. I think he needs more savvy players than anything, not necessarily, anything else that people have said. But Steph Castle, I think that's a huge addition. Obviously, Jeremy Sohan, high IQ player. That's all he really needs is just players with very high basketball IQ surrounding them, and I think it'll work itself out.
David Robinson, Avery Johnson, Mario Ellie, Sean Elliott. And what they do, they go win a championship. The problem with that team was the longevity of the team. A lot of them were older in the tail end of their career, so a lot of these guys retire, trade, whatever. What do? They do it again. They surround Tim Duncan with Hall of Famers. They draft Tony Parker and Ginobili, and they get a revolving door of very high intellect, smart, capable role players.
Okay, so let me go ahead and say this really quick. I absolutely love the fact that Austin Rivers pays attention. And I know that this seems like crazy to us, right? That anybody wouldn't know some of this stuff. It's wild. I know it's wild. But you know what? I actually am not that shocked at this point by former NBA players or current NBA players when they talk about the Spurs just completely be off base. So it's nice to hear someone actually know what they're talking about. Very simple, no crazy take here, right? It's not a genius take, but thus far it's like, wow, you actually paid attention to us, because a lot of people didn't and don't.
Valued, solid pros, man. The Bellinellis, the Bruce Bowens, the Patty Mills, the
Matt
Boris
Bonner.
Diaws,
Matt
the
Bonner.
Gary Neals,
Matt Bonner.
Splinters,
Matt Bonner.
the list goes.
I love
goes
Gary
on.
Neal.
And what do? They win championship after championship after championship after championship. That's what they do. They win championships. And then all these guys retire, and everybody doesn't really know the future of the Spurs. It's, people didn't really care to talk about it because they've done enough, right? Half the NBA right now is structured from that team. It's either like you're a descendant from Pat Riley or Pop.
He knows ball. Please bring up the Kawhi Leonard situation. Let's be as accurate as possible here.
In terms of who's running the NBA, who's making decisions, who's coaching, front office, etc. Most of it's from the Spurs.
True. True.
And what do? People don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. Popovich looks like he's going to retire, possibly. That's what the word is. We don't know. It looks like it. And then what happens?
Oh, wait. Okay, sorry.
This freak of nature comes walking along, Victor. And what do? They're doing it again. They're building around him. And
I thought we were talking in the past tense. I'm sorry.
we were all very skeptical.
All right, present tense, I meant.
Uncertain last year, because what happened was Victor comes in. He's just as good as advertised. Some would even say better. So then we all start to worry, like, yo, this guy's actually really good. Like, why is this team so bad? He needs help. Like, they need to surround him with some talent. And within a year and a half, you can now see the full picture, and that they are. They get a savvy vet, Chris Paul, Hall of Famer. And, for those who have short-term memory, you remember what he did for OKC before they turned into what they are now. He was a big part of, like, the building blocks there. He was huge for Shea and development of some of those guys there.
If he brings up Stephon Castle, dude, I'm going to lose it. If he brings up Steph Castle, Austin Rivers is just a Spurs fan paying attention.
Right? And he's doing that now with San Antonio. Watch how much better. They're going to be a lot better than what people think they're going to be this year. You got savvy vets again, Harrison Barnes. This is what they're doing. They're putting these guys in. You have young talent, Calvin Johnson, now like in his rightful position. You can have him come off the bench, be a scorer, slasher, great driver to the rim. You know, Sohan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's like a descendant of like, you know,
oh no,
Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
and he's actually, you know, is a lot more skilled than what people think he is. And
That's
then they
true.
draft the best.
I never I'm sorry, comment section. Chat and comment section are two different things. I need to get that right. Comment section, please let me know. What do you think about the comparisons of Jeremy Sohan to Dennis Rodman? I don't see it at all. Like, I don't think they play similar at all, but I guess what people mean is just the type of attitude that he brings, that defense and a gritty type player. But on the offensive end, it is night and day. It is absolutely night and day. And I think he's going to be a way better player offensively than Dennis Rodman was.
This year in a draft that people were very critical of, myself included. They go get the best player in the draft, Castle, who's going to be the best player.
He brought him up. Hold on. Dude, what the heck is going on?
Dennis Rodman. And he's actually, you know, is a lot more skilled than what people think he is. And then they draft the best this year in a draft that people were very critical of, myself included. They go get the best player in the draft, Castle, who's going to be the best player from this year. I mark my words. He's going to be a stud. So, like, we're seeing it, right? They're doing it again. They're putting these pieces in form again, man. Within the next 5 years, this team will win a championship. And I'm not saying this team exactly will win, but this is the start of the team that will. There are pieces from this team that will help them win in the future.
5 years, you say? 5 years, you say?
Big time. It's happening.
All right, so it's interesting that he says that. He's absolutely right. The Spurs have been doing a phenomenal job of making sure that we're set up for the future. I still don't think that we make the playoffs this upcoming season, but I do think that we'll be much better. I'm going with 44 wins. That's my prediction. I know it's crazy, but that's what I'm going to stick with right now. So let me take a look at this. So 5 years from now, we're looking at 2029, and I want to bring this up. Oh my goodness, connection went out. Look at that. Connection went out for a second. There we go. All right, I want to take a look at the upcoming draft for the Spurs. And as we can see here, so if we're looking past that, and yes, say the Spurs are a winning franchise by 20, I'm thinking 2028. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? I think that's when we'll be winning. We'll be deep in the playoffs, making a run, maybe possibly a championship at that point. But at that point, that means that a lot of our own first round picks won't be as valuable. That's why I think that the 2030 and the 2031 Minnesota picks could be really big for us, because at that point, Minnesota, they're probably going to have their run in the next few years. And we're assuming by 2030, 2031, they might not be looking that beautiful, right? They might not be looking that great. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what we're banking on. And I think that's what Brian Wright was banking on as well. That's why you get those picks in the future, because we have a timeline and the Spurs know, hey, or they're setting the pieces for them to be very successful in the next few years. And then when you go into 2030, then it's like, okay, our picks aren't as valuable, but we'll have some just in case. And I think that's a good way to go about it. Or another thing that they could do is, by the time you get to this point and you feel like you need some other veterans or you need some other pieces, you can trade away that 2030 and 2031, right? And get you some other pieces. So the Spurs are absolutely setting up this team to be very successful. After 2025 draft, we're going to start cooking. It's going to be very fun to be a Spurs fan. It is right now, but I think after 2025 is going to be very fun, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So you guys let me know what you think about what Austin Rivers said. I really need to watch more of his stuff, because honestly, he actually pays attention. And I know that it's not just the Spurs. I made kind of a joke saying he's a Spurs fan. He probably pays attention to everything basketball. But this is a dude who actually loves the game here, man. Because there's so many podcasters or commentators post NBA or even still in the NBA that just has some terrible takes, man. Just awful, terrible takes. No idea what's going on, and it really, really frustrates me. But this was good. I liked it. Anyways. Get with you guys later, man. Until next time. Bye.